And last time you were on, you were talking about expanding the playoffs, or you wanted to clarify something you said last time you were on.
Yeah. Baseball has floated an idea about expanding the playoffs, where you'd have the three division winners, and the best division winner would get a bye, and then you would have four wild cards. And I said to you that I thought that some of this had merit and was worth discussing. I don't have any problem with a television show as a selection show. It's an interesting idea to let the higher-seeded teams pick their opponents. There might be some strategy involved there. But it was made to seem, not by you, but by some people, as if I was promoting this idea or that I was all in. And what I actually said was, this is a starting point. And there's lots of ways that you could come at it. And the one thing that you have to be mindful of, and I've always said this, going back to when they added the first wild card, is the difference between baseball and other sports, the difference between the history of a pennant race and mere playoff qualifying, and, of course, the difference in the length of the season. The NFL goes and expands, as we just talked about. Their season is a tenth as long, roughly, as baseball's season. So you can't, I don't think you can throw division winners. Last year, for example, in the American League, 3 teams won more than 100 games. It's one thing to say the 2 wild cards have to play a 1-game knockout or a best 2 out of 3. If you come in through the side door, that makes sense. Or if you play a whole season and you wind up in a dead heat, Giants and Dodgers played 2 out of 3 in 51. The Bucky Dent game, the Yankees and Red Sox played a single game, but that makes sense because they played to a dead heat over 154 or 162. But if you play 162 games, or wherever they wind up, 156, and one team wins 100 and the other is the 4th wild card and has a 500 record, then a best 2 out of 3 might not be an acceptable crapshoot. Think of how often, this is baseball, not basketball or football, think of how often a team that wins 90-plus games loses 2 out of 3 at home during the course of the season to a team that finishes under 500 because it's baseball. So I'm saying that what they've thrown out there is interesting and has some merit, but they've got to reconcile it with the validity of the long season. So if you have 2 more minutes here, I would say where they are now, just with the 5 playoff qualifiers and 2 wild cards per league, they could make the wild card round best 2 out of 3 with all 3 on the home field of the better wild card qualifier. That makes sense. And they could make the division series best out of 7 instead of best out of 5. That also makes competitive sense. And they'd only have to cut the season back to 156, which is 1 3-game home series for each team, in order for the World Series not to push into November. Or if they wanted to add 1 wild card in the present setup, they could give first-round buys to the 2 highest playoff qualifiers, so you have less of a chance of an extreme inequity there. Or if and when they go to 32 teams, which is going to happen somewhere down the road, then you could reconfigure into 2 8-team divisions per league, arranged geographically. Then logically, completely logically, the 2 division winners get a bye, and you have 4 wild card teams per league. And there you wind up with something that's expanded, it's modernized, but it still respects the importance of the long baseball season.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV, stream for free on BR Live, or download the Dan Patrick Show app.